How did you like that beginning? That was different. That was because I couldn't find my regular one, and I was just clicking buttons, and yeah. Um, it's funny. I guess for some reason we are not going to my Facebook, so I'm just going to click on this and see if I can get it to go. Huh. Not sure what's going on. It looks like it's streaming. Yeah, it's streaming. So I hope people are tuning in and welcome. Yes, we have people watching. Thank you. If you're watching, you can say hello. Desiree Kennedy says Tamara Jones. I'm not sure what that means, but hey, I think she's trying to tag Tamara Jones. Shelly, how are you? And welcome to Kevali Channeling Presents for September the 12th. I can't believe we are. What is that? Oh, it's just never mind. Um, we are the middle of September already. Where did summer go to? Although it's still warm, I'm not complaining. It's getting cooler at night, which I don't mind. I like sleeping in a cool room, and I still like the mid 20s. So we're good. We're good. Hello, Miss Ellison Jones. She's a long ways away down in the downstairs. I was going to say in the basement. Isn't that weird? She's not in the basement, folks. She's actually just in the main floor. I'm upstairs. So we have a very special guest today. All my guests are special. We have had Heather Tait on before, and we delved into her and near-death experience, NDE. Hello, Gary. How are you? Um, I don't think we did it justice last time she was on, to be honest. Way back then, I don't think I comprehended as what she had gone through. So we're going to delve into that again, but we're also going to talk about what she's doing and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to scoot over here. I'm going to click on the magic button, and the magic button goes boom. There's
Ta-da!
Heather. Heather looks rather large. We're not sure why, but we're just going to run with it. Pretend she's not as large as she looks on the screen.
We don't even know why, but it's like real. Doesn't matter how far away I am from the cam. I don't know.
It's weird, but we're going to run with it anyway. How
Can
are
you see
you,
my
young
form?
lady?
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm actually good. I enjoyed the summer. It was kind of a strange summer here in Alberta,
So
maybe southern, central, or northern. But yeah, I've been busy working with clients from all over and gardening, which is my thing. I do have a veggie garden and whatnot. And of course,
nice.
fall means getting everything ready for the freezer.
That's right. That's right. So
Yeah.
were you affected much by the fires up that way?
Oh, yeah. Even right up to just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the long weekend here was terrible, horrible, terrible. Just from the smoke. That smoke was brought in from BC. And
Mhm.
with my lung issues, I couldn't even go outside. It was that bad. But
Yeah.
it's better now. It's clear. Um, and I'm hoping the cooler weather is helping everywhere in Canada and across North America because we are experiencing some weird ass shit. And that's all I'm going to say is we're
I'll say
experiencing some weird ass shit.
real strange stuff has been going on.
Yes. We'll leave it at that because we don't want to get political, but we've been dealing with some weird shit.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, welcome back.
Thank you.
When
Thank you
was
for
it we
inviting
had
me.
you on?
About a year ago, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably over a year ago now, eh?
It's getting around there, or
For some
I
reason,
can't
I wanna
remember.
say it was cold.
I'm saying it was maybe the end of October, November?
Yeah, because for some
Because it
reason,
was
when
cold.
I feel like it was cold.
Mhm. Yeah, it was. Because I remember I had all kinds of sweaters on and everything, like, yeah, freezing.
Yeah,
Because 'cause I'm
yeah,
always cold anyways.
yeah, and we live in Alberta, go figure.
Right? Yeah.
Too funny.
Saying from
Well,
2 people who are previously not from Alberta, but yeah.
exactly. Welcome back, it's great to have you.
Oh, thank you so
Um,
much. It's
you
good to be
you're
here.
probably one of the shows that when I have clients, when I'm doing a session, they bring up, your interview on the show probably more than anybody else. Just and one of the main things they talk about is, well, you remember that girl had the near death experience, and I
Mm,
didn't realize at the time how um, profound and how impactful your
yeah.
story was on others. And really, that's what this show started as. Is I wanted to bring others, hear other people's stories, and really delve into what happened and why and how they got to
Mhm.
where they are.
Yeah.
Yours is unique. So we're gonna that's where we're gonna start this time. We're gonna give it a
Gonna
good
make me do it all over again?
I am. You're going to live it all over again, which I'm sure you have told this story many, many times.
Well, actually, to be quite frank with you, outside of my very small circle, you were the first
Oh,
that
really?
actually put it online. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
being who I am and what I do, your guides are like, you need to tell this story more. More people need to hear what the story is and
Mm.
understand what the story is. So, yeah, guess what? You're going to do it all over again.
Well, I'll like at the very beginning part of it, I'll just do it a little bit shorter. So basically, everything that happened was due to a car accident to begin with.
Yes.
Had the car accident, right? So had the car accident. The car was totaled. I yeah had damage to my legs, my face, my fake tooth. I ate the dash. Okay, my seatbelt wasn't working, so I smoked right in front of absolutely everything. At any rate, and it was months later. Well, no, that's a lie. So that was in December. Um, I was an avid cyclist. That's, an avid cyclist. And what I mean is I biked 10K a day. As soon as there was, not as much snow on the ground until there was snow on the ground. So yeah,
Nice.
months.
Yes.
At any rate, it was my main mode of transportation. I bike to and from work and groceries, everything, right? So, anyways, and so it was after I graduated from Nate, and I was working for a newspaper at the time as an editor, and had the accident just before Christmas. And a friend of mine had come over, and he said, "Oh, what's the matter with you?" Because I was limping around, right? And I had, scabs and whatnot. My face wasn't great.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I had this car accident." I said, "But you know what? My legs are really bad." And he said, "Well, show me." And so I had lifted up my pant legs, and they were black from the knees down. I mean, really deep, deep bruising. And eventually, that took a long time to go away. And eventually, I would say probably by the beginning of February, I had like a constant Charlie horse, just constant. It never eased off, absolutely nothing. The weirdest thing, I'd be kind of hobbling around work, and come spring, like early spring for us, I started cycling again. And I would rather cycle than walk anywhere because it hurt like hell, to be honest with you. And I had gone to see, oh my gosh, so many doctors about this Charlie horse.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think it was the eighth doctor, and I had gone in to see him, and I said, "Look, I know I've been in this clinic before, and I've seen other doctors as well." And I said, "It's gotten to the point where I'm concerned I have a deep vein thrombosis from the car accident." And he kind of laughed at me and said, "Don't be ridiculous. You would be in so much more pain." I said, "Well, I am in a lot of pain, actually." So he went and got a colleague. And so he got this colleague who then came into, the room where I was, and he was asking me questions. And he said, "No, no, I'm with Dr. Blah blah." I won't mention his name. He's long retired. Anyways, he said, "You would be in tremendous pain." And I said, "Well, what does tremendous pain look like to you? Because what do you want me to do? You want me to cry?" Like I have a very high threshold, and when I'm saying to somebody, it really hurts. Like I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And they, no, no, no. Look. because I said, I'm concerned. I'm going away on vacation and down to BC to visit family. And I'm concerned if it's deep vein thrombosis on what could happen. What could happen? And they said, don't be ridiculous. Go and enjoy your vacation. And I thought, okay, all right. So I left. I went home. I had that foreboding feeling. As you know, we were leaving early the next morning. So we did that, driving in the car. And I would say maybe about 7 hours of driving. All of a sudden, I didn't feel that Charlie horse anymore. So what did I think? Great. Guess I was wrong. you know, guess I was wrong. Okay. So I visited people, and long story short, after having I had lots of chest pain. I couldn't figure out what that was. I was short of breath. We brought our bikes with us because we did a lot of mountain biking. I couldn't even catch up to my 6-year-old daughter at the time, which was bizarre. It was like struggling for every breath, right? Then we drove down to around Vancouver region, Abbotsford region, which you probably know. And
Yes, know it
um,
well.
yeah, and so, anyways, I was visiting my father and whatnot there, and things just got really bad. Ended up going to a dinner party. My father and stepmom at the time had taken my daughter. We had gone to a dinner party, and I was feeling so horrendous. I was not eating, I was not drinking. I was kind of like a blob. I was there and not there, you know what
Yeah,
I
I know
mean?
what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And my whole entire rib cage hurt. It was
Hmm.
very, yeah, I couldn't figure it out. And I got that deep foreboding feeling. It was powerful. And I went into the bathroom and I stood in front of the mirror and I said, Heather, if you do not get help right now, you're going to die. It was that strong of a feeling that my number was being called. It was
Wow.
very, very, very strong. And so I did leave. I left the bathroom and let's think about the ages here. I was probably one of the youngest. I'm in my late 20s, and the eldest person at this dinner party was maybe 35. So, I mean, what happens to people at these ages? Not a whole lot of things. So, anyways, I came out of the washroom and I had said, I need an ambulance. I need an ambulance right now. And the guy I was with at the time, he said, no, no, I'll drive her to the hospital. And I said, no, you don't know where you're going. You've never been to BC. You don't know the city. You don't know Vancouver. It's not easy, And that was all ignored. They picked me up and stuffed me in the car. Stuffed me in the car. He got lost, long story short, ended up in the States.
Oh, right.
By that period of time, I was losing senses. So for me, my first sense of loss was hearing. Couldn't hear. And I had said, I need to go to the bathroom. But really, I think what I was really doing was I was afraid. And I thought if I went to the bathroom and maybe splashed some cold water on my face, trying to figure out what's going on. And I don't know what he said because I couldn't hear him, but we drove up to the front of the washrooms before we had come back through Canada. And I got out of the bathroom, kind of felt my way along the car till I got to the door and kind of slid along there's a long countertop with sinks and whatnot. And I was in between the countertop and the hand dryer, kind of just leaning there. I actually didn't do anything else. I didn't
Hmm.
splash water. I didn't do anything else because by that stage, I knew I was in serious trouble. And I just remember an elderly lady, she had come in and she took one look at me and she came right over to me and she's talking, but I can't hear her. And she came over, sweet elderly lady, she felt here and here and to see what's wrong. And she's
Yeah.
talking with me and I'm just leaning and I can't talk to her. But in my head, I'm screaming, I need help. I need help. I had no voice by this stage. I lost that ability. There was no sound and no hearing, no voice. So it was that quick, from that time period.
Wow.
And
That's
she left.
terrifying.
Well, it was pretty scary. She went to the washroom. She came out. She said something else. I don't know. Washed her hands. She left. I have no idea how long I leaned up there. Eventually made my way, slid along the countertop to the door, hand over the top of the vehicle, and sat down. And I know he was irritated because you can, tell when somebody's right. Couldn't hear a word he had to say, you know. And I just sat down and thought, I'm gonna die. I'm in trouble. I'm in real trouble. And I was hoping that by time we came to border security, I was kind of hoping the guy would say something to me, or I would have to communicate, or something, but he didn't. He only talked to the driver. And I was kind of laying there and I just kind of looked like that. And I'm thinking or screaming in my head, help, help, I need help. And then he waved us through. And I actually said to myself by that stage, I said, Heather, you're going to die.
That's
You're
scary
going to die.
thought.
Yeah. Just, I knew there was no hope by then, because up
Yeah.
until that point, there was hope, right? And I don't know where he was, to be honest with you. It was just dark. And he went around some kind of ramp. And I remember the pain. The pain was just enormous, enormous. In my head, I was screaming, but then I was slumped up in front. The dash was I could see every little bit of what leather looks like, real up close. And I was very confused over that. I said, "Why is the dash so close? I don't get it. I don't get it." When I'm looking at it, but then the dark came. This darkness came, and it came from kind of the back, sort of above, sort of back, and it came and slowly took out all my ability to see. So it was very slow until all I could see through was this tiny little pinprick of the
Oh,
inside of
wow.
the vehicle. That was it. And then nothing. It was
Jeez.
absolutely black, complete blackness.
Terrifying.
And I wasn't afraid, actually, to be honest with you. I wasn't afraid. I
Were you
just
still so I'm gonna interrupt. Were you still aware at this point? Even when there was blackness, you still knew, "I'm still
aware.
here, but I can't hear, I can't see, and I can't talk."
Right.
Holy.
Yeah. Until it was like kind of like being submersed into this incredible blackness. You call it the abyss. I called it the void. I didn't know what to call it, to be honest with you. And it was like just being suspended in it. I wasn't afraid. I was more curious. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what was going on. My understanding was like at about a zero.
Yeah.
With the I also need to say this. I had no prior belief structure. Absolutely none. I grew up with parents when I was a little kid, around 7, when you get curious about what happens when you die, and about God and things like that. I had asked and they told me, well, nothing. You're dead and that's it and that's all.
Oh, okay.
So that was my belief.
Yeah.
Dead, that's it, and that's all.
That's it.
So
We're done.
yeah. So anyways, in this abyss, it was very comfortable. It was very, very comfortable. It was like it was the perfect temperature. I felt very peaceful. I wasn't afraid. Um, I didn't know what was happening. It was almost like, when you're at the lake and you're just, you float on your back and you're just kind of floating and you close your eyes, and it was sort of that feeling. Okay.
I know
Very,
exactly the
very,
feeling
very
now, yep.
comfortable. And so anyways, from there, I just kind of thinking, well, what is this place? And my curiosity, because I'm a curious person by nature, I always have been, I wanted to put the hand in front of my face to see if I could see my hand.
Right.
I wanted to know exactly how dark is this,
Like,
you know?
what's going on?
Yeah, and so I did that, and I couldn't even see my hand. I couldn't see anything. That didn't scare me. And, I don't know how long I was there for. I honestly can't tell you, but way off in the distance, it was like a little blink of a light, almost like a little blink of a star. It was way off. And well, in complete darkness like this, how could you miss that, right?
Well, yeah,
So
exactly.
I did notice it, and I thought, wow, what is that? Caught my attention. What is that? Huh? And I watched it, and it seemed like it was coming closer and closer and closer. And then I had noticed it was kind of, as it got really close, it was kind of like a funnel. And I thought, wow, that's really strange. What is that? And so it was for me, it wasn't like a gray funnel. It had sparks of light in it. It had different tones of gray and white. And I'm kind of watching it as it's coming towards me, and I'm just watching it. And next thing I know, I'm in it.
Ooh.
I have no idea what this is. I'm in it. I'm out of the abyss thing. Now I'm in this. And it's almost as it's swirling around. There really are sparks of.
Now, could you, at this point, I'm going to interrupt because I have so many questions and I don't want to wait till the end because I will forget. When this happened to you, you went from this complete darkness, you saw this funnel of light coming towards you. Did you
Yeah.
feel anything? Like, was there any sensation you were feeling as far as like wet, dry, anything like that?
No, no, absolutely not. Other than the environment was really comfortable, and I absolutely wasn't afraid. It's not like it was cold or hot or
That
anything like
was my
that. It was
next
like,
question. So not hot, not cold,
nope,
just
no. It was
comfy.
like everything was perfect,
Nice. Okay.
absolutely perfect. So when
And
I got,
people who are
sorry,
listening, if you have questions as Heather is telling her story, doesn't matter where you're listening, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, you can type them in. I can see the questions as they come in, and we will get them answered. Sorry, Heather, I didn't want to interrupt,
no
but go
worries.
ahead.
So anyway, so it had sparkles in it. It's almost like, uh, yeah, like sparklers or something as it turns,
Okay.
and it's big. And I was quite curious about it. I wasn't afraid. And then I stretched out my arms and my legs because I was slowly going up. And I thought, well, this is kind of strange. I'm going to stop myself because, when I was younger, I was a little control freak. And so I starfished myself, thought I could touch the sides. Nope, it expanded.
Oh, interesting.
And that was when I started to freak out.
Well, yeah. Oh, you just so it took that to freak you out. I'm freaked out when everything went black. Heather's like,
Well,
"Ah, no,
yeah,
that was okay. It
that
felt
was a
comfy. That was okay."
foreboding feeling, when everything went black. It was kind of foreboding feeling, but even after that, everything was still, I didn't know what was happening. I had
Mhm.
I was just curious. But when I couldn't stop my, I guess, ascension, was when I started to freak out. And that was when I started saying, whoa, whoa, wait, wait. No,
It's
no,
not
no,
time.
stop. This is to stop. I want this to stop. What's happening here? I was really freaking out, actually. I was really afraid. And then when I came to, I guess the best way to say it would be to the top, I guess. And again, I know other people have heard this, and it's true. It was blinding whitish, bluish light, like such a tad hint of the blue, but blinding white. Because I did this,
Okay.
and I couldn't see anything other than that at first. So it was, and then the people started to come. But it was like, you had a football game and those really, really powerful lights, bring
Yeah.
them all down to ground level and stack them all on top of each other. Then have a huge crowd of 100 plus or hundreds of people walk towards you. So at first I couldn't see anything. Then I could see sort of shapes, sort of, but I wasn't sure. And then I could see more of body outlines and they're coming towards me. And I'm watching that, thinking, what the hell is this? Where? where am I?
Yeah.
And they got closer and closer and closer. And when I realized it was people, I was actually really freaking out at this stage because I was really quite rude about the whole thing. And I actually was saying, back the fuck off,
Yes.
stay away. You know, freaking out, completely freaking out. And then I had realized as they got closer and closer in the front, kind of like in the front row, there were people I recognized. So my great grandparents, aunts, uncles, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
wait a minute. Oh, Aunt Alice. Oh, Uncle Dick, grandma, granddad, nanny, like uh I thought that was really strange. And I was still holding my hand out. No, stay away, stay away. And she had come forward, my nanny, my great grandmother. We were very tight as I was a little kid. And she had said, she'd said, Heather, you have died. And it was almost like it was hard to compute. And she said, Heather, it's okay, you have died. And I was, no, no. And she had stepped back into the line, but there was another presence that was coming on this side of me, a stronger presence. It was a different light. Because I had fallen to my knees. Now you think, okay, well, how is there a ground? But it seems like there's kind of a ground. It wasn't
yes.
hard or anything. It's not like I fell to my knees and hurt my knees on concrete. No, it was nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah.
When I put my hands over my face and it was no, 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 no. I don't want to be here. This no, no, no. And I was really freaking out. And then there was this presence on the other side that became more and more and more. Could I feel the love of the group? Yes, I could. But I was in my period of massive freaking out. So it wasn't the main thing that stuck at that very moment of time. It was the other part that came in, and that light was different. It was white, yes, but it had a different, almost like a different frequency to it. It had little bits of gold and it had bits of silver, and it's within the white. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yep.
And that kind of washed over me. And that the whole thing, it was almost like a surrender. I
Okay.
completely surrendered to the whole entire thing by that stage. Stopped my freaking out, accepted, surrendered, and it's not like it was a voice, was told that it was going to be okay. And I went very quickly from that state to the life review state. And the life review was like multidimensional, actually. It's not like it was on a TV set or screens. It was like a living, complete living, feeling experience. If you could take the ceilings, the walls, the floor, and you're actually in it. Hard to explain. You're the emotion, you're the thoughts, you're the everything
Right.
through
Yep.
your life
Of
review, right?
course.
So anyway, from there, it had shown me, time periods as a kid. I mean, I hadn't been alive that long. As a kid, how I had hurt, friends' feelings. There was a friend of mine. We used to always fight and be friends and fight and be friends, and so how that actually affected her.
Okay.
Things that I said, things that I even thought that she picked up on. So thoughts are things, and they really
Yes.
are. And so the things that I had said, and she brought that into her system, her body, as truths. And she eventually adopted it. Was like the foundation of who she was, that I was intersecting and adding things to, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, makes total sense.
Yeah, so I got to see exactly how that was processed on an emotional level, on a psychological level, on a physical level, and an energetic level. I got to see how on the cellular level, how that was a reaction, just the whole entire thing. It was just really quite something. And, also for myself and how that affected me as well.
So I'm
And
gonna interrupt
then,
I'm gonna interrupt you here because Morgan made a comment, and it's just a simple comment, and he says, "OMG." And I interrupt, and I want to bring it to your attention because Morgan is a healer, medium,
mm,
channeler. Morgan, are you I got goosebumps on my goosebumps on my goosebumps.
yeah.
Are you picking up the same thing I'm picking up? Now, he's gonna type in, so you can continue, but Morgan, please tell me if you're picking up the same thing I'm picking up. Go ahead.
So, anyways, and then from there, it's how everybody was affected. And even energetically on a consciousness within the neighborhood, that area. Okay, so I mean, it's a big thing. And then it went off to how I had helped people that I didn't really think I had helped.
Big.
It was just a little thing to me, but to them it was enormous, and for some people it actually altered their course for
Yes.
like good. So I was really taken aback by that. I thought, wow, I really didn't think I didn't really think I actually really helped. Um, yeah, yeah, that was really, really, really quite big, because there were some people, um, well, I'll just say this. I was in a group home. I didn't have a home, right?
Yeah.
So I was in a group home. And so there was lots of girls there who I was trying to help, because we don't need to be a statistic. We can get educated, be educated, and we can make better choices for ourselves. So I was helping girls who were my age, and there was a couple of girls that really did take heed to that, because they were going down the road of making money with their bodies. And so that was enormous to me. I could still cry. Sorry.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Never
Anyway,
apologize for
yeah.
emotion. It's
Yeah.
that's normal.
So
You good?
that was something. I mean, even energetically, how we can, affect people.
It's
Just a
funny, I'm
girl.
gonna give you a breath here to get take a breath and
Yeah.
get your composure back. As you were telling the story, um, especially about how you made impacts on people, um, that you didn't know you made impacts on people.
Yeah.
Quite often when I'm doing a reading, it's not once in a while, it's quite often, I'll have a soul come through and I'll think it's your best friend. I'll literally think it's the way they're presenting themselves is like, this is Heather's best friend. As
Mm,
it turns out, it's somebody you went to school with and you had two conversations with, but you were
mm.
the only one who ever conversed with this person. You didn't know that
Right. Yeah.
and how much it meant to them. So when we go through life, it's amazing how the little things that we think are little,
Hmm.
both good and bad, have a
Yeah.
major effect on I'm going to say
Hmm.
the universe as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, huge. Okay, sorry, continue.
Absolutely. And all through, don't forget, through the near death experience, I mean, nothing's, you're not chastised or anything. It's basically, it's a learning process, right? So the whole entire review is all about learning and
Yes,
understanding, and having that, as you're newly passed over. I wasn't all the way, don't forget. I may have left my body, it was clinically dead, but didn't go all the way.
I hope
And
not because if not, we're
I would be
talking to a
here.
ghost.
Gross. But I mean, there's no judgment whatsoever, and it's a learning tool for a
Yes,
higher understanding of
yes,
exactly how everything really truly does work here on this plane. With the groups of people who are here, and it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in New Zealand. It doesn't really matter, because once that, the consciousness and our thoughts and everything are out there, they are picked up.
and
So it was a lot of that.
For
showing me
people
a
who
lot of
aren't
that.
understanding, and a lot of people won't understand what you're going through in this near death experience that you're describing, is what I describe to people of part of the process of crossing over. Is
Mhm.
we have to, I'm going to use the word account, or we have to learn, there's a purpose we're here. And when we cross back over, we review what we've done so we can understand without the human brain at a
Mm.
soul level what happened. So
Yeah,
continue your
absolutely
progression
100%.
there. Actually, before you
It
do, I'm going to read Morgan's comment here.
Okay.
Heather, I had not heard that particular aspect of life review, or you and your guides explained it energetically in a way that I could comprehend. Thank you.
Uh,
So, whew.
right? Yeah.
So if nothing else happens in this whole next half hour, that there, Morgan, is the reason I do this effing show. Whew.
Mhm.
I'm going to let you continue because now I'm getting emotional.
And it was interesting because after the life review, then it went into the energetic firing operations of the human body. So I learned all about that. It feels it. There was such a download. It honestly, it took years for me to work out even half of it, you know. But it really was about the energetic makeup of the human body that makes everything fire and work. You
Yes.
know, so without the soul, I mean, that's your conduit, right?
Yes.
So the on a cellular level and read down to atoms and absolutely everything, how everything works, and it's almost like a musical, you know, on how every part has its part to play and to operate within the human body. And then what happens when we get bogged down by unprocessed emotions, experiences, and things like that, we file it within our energetic fields. Eventually it comes within the body. Eventually it gets down to the cellular levels, and it can get into the bone marrow. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So I was educated, I guess,
Yep.
all about that, you know. And then from there, I mean, I got to see the universe, which is why I became absolutely obsessed with nebulas and everything, completely obsessed with them, because it always reminded me of the living energy. And when I call it the living energy, it's because it's in motion, it's moving. You can feel it. You can
Yes.
feel each and every different vibration and what that feels like, which is why I call it living color. I don't know what else to call it. I don't have the language even still. But at any rate, I did. I was actually taken to. We didn't mention this last time, to a place. It was the Crystal City. So if anybody knows about the Crystal City, that would be fantastic, because I know I can't be the only one. You know, there's somewhere out there. There's got to be somebody else who's experienced that. I have not found you yet. But at any rate, the Crystal City, and this was just a magnificent place. Um, you're there like that, but there's a travel. It's like lights going by really fast. It's very hard to explain, but it's fast. It's almost like you're going through a tube or something. It was very fast, and bang there. And I must have I. It's like I knew this place. I knew this place really well, and there was somebody there who greeted me, but I couldn't really see their face. And they gave me a hug, and I gave them a hug back, and they had said, "You can't stay. Can't stay." Oh, okay. And I just looked at the Crystal City, and it was
Can I
just,
ask a question about what you're
yeah,
calling the Crystal City? Can you just, was there like buildings? Was it
it was all made out of crystal,
so like kind of
literally.
glass looking?
Yeah, yeah. But it had on it was different spectrum of light and frequencies. And it was really a high frequency because you could really feel it, you know. Yeah, it was really something. It was really something.
Okay.
And I wasn't there very long. And after I was given the hug and told that I couldn't stay. And it was like, oh, okay. So I kind of went from there, and I was shown I called them the place of the Hall of Records. I realize people call it Akashic Records, but please understand, like I didn't have the language, right?
You didn't have training like I do here to be able
Right.
to, which is amazing me because I'm listening to you and, yeah, Morgan says it was like the Emerald City in The Wizard of Oz, but different.
Oh, yeah.
Um, when I'm listening to you and I'm putting what I learned into words as you're saying it, it's blowing me away. So continue.
hmm So I'm in this. I call it a Hall of Records because it went as high as the eye could see. There were books, all these books, and it was like a long passage with books on either side. It was just really unbelievable.
So
Old,
you were
old.
literally in the Akashic Records.
Right.
That is literally how what most people would describe as the Akashic Records.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I was shown it was my book. There was sometimes it was in a different language, which I didn't understand, but that was okay. But at the time I understood it, but it was after when, trying to reprocess everything that I had been shown, I didn't understand that portion of it. There was also, I had a little running movie of a past life. I was also shown in another place past lives, and the understanding of we choose our parents, we choose not every single experience, but our main experiences with the people that are going to present them to us. And we're all in the know when we're doing this. We have these agreements, and I was shown with those people who I had a past life with, agreement with them. Some of it was karmic that I had come here to work through with specific people. And I mean, some pretty brutal people. It gave me a better understanding. Even when I came back and had to work through it, I didn't particularly like it, to be honest with you, but I had a better understanding of what these things were about. So there's that. I also was shown the different levels. I hate the term levels, but the different frequencies of, lack of better words, heaven. Once we pass, dependent upon the soul frequency, is going to dependent upon where we're going to stay until we choose to reincarnate again. And where we choose to incarnate, it's not always the planet Earth. It could be other places. you know.
Other places. That's going deep, but there is
Yeah,
other places.
other places. Yeah. So I mean, I was shown that as well. I was shown it was this place of it was kind of like an auditorium in a sense, where you could go and you could talk almost like with a group of people about your life, your most recent life experience. You could share that right then and there. There was the place of healing. This was an unbelievable place. Actually, it was all healing with frequencies, and sometimes a soul can be there for quite some time.
Yes.
Well, depends on what their life experience was.
How much
And
healing they need.
yeah, and what they actually need, and on how deep of a level. And sometimes the soul can be lack of, I can't say damaged, but
Yeah,
we'll
damage.
have some
Yeah,
work to do there, right? Some
yeah,
healing work to do there. And some it's not very long. It all depends on what you came here to experience
exactly.
and how you processed it, and right?
And there's a
So
million ands put in there.
there's a lot of ands, definitely a lot of
Yes.
ands. And yeah, so I was also, shown that we do sit down and we do work with a group when it comes to what we want to experience in this life. I had some pretty lofty ones, but I did choose that. I chose a lot for this lifetime. I really did. And so like I said, I really got a very deep understanding of that. I'm trying to think of what I'm forgetting because I didn't know we were going to talk about this. Uh,
And you just talked for 45 minutes about it.
did
So,
I?
yeah.
Oh,
So
shoot.
so I'm
Okay.
gonna speed you up. So I'm gonna speed you up because I do wanna get to other stuff.
Yeah.
So you went through a lot of different things besides what you just mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think people needed to hear what you mentioned, and that's why, your guides were like, "Okay, let's bring it." How did you I'm gonna use the words "return."
Yeah. So I was told I wasn't to return. I didn't have to return. I chose to return. I asked to return. And I wanted to return because I really wanted to finish this lifetime, because I really wanted to finish those karmic agreements. I wanted to finish them. I wanted to see them through. And then there came the information of, okay, but you will have a lot of healing to do. There'll be a lot of work for you to do. I had a physical big problems physically. I had a lot of work to do there. I had to heal physically, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, my whole entire belief structure shattered, right?
Well, I mean, and you can add mentally in there because
All of it.
that's gonna mess a human brain up,
Absolutely. And
right?
so I was told that I was going to be in a lot of pain. And if I was prepared for that. And I wanted to do it anyways. And so the agreement that I had, I don't know what you want to, the amended agreement
Your
was,
contract, yeah.
yeah, the amended agreement was that I would do all this work for myself with the guides and with the information I was given, and then I would share it. I would work with people and share it. So that's the promise that I take heed to. And
Yes.
I do with joy.
So
Yeah,
when you came back, your soul returns to your body.
I was at the hospital.
You're at the hospital. What was your first reaction? Like, what was that? Did you right away, did you wake up, come to consciousness, and go, holy beep, 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 beep? I was just over there.
No, I was tight-lipped about the whole entire thing.
Oh, really?
Yep. I came to at the hospital and I said, and everything's going to be okay now. Who is going to believe that, right? But
Sure.
I knew it. I knew everything was going to be okay. And to be honest with you, did I pass out, fall asleep? I don't know. But the next time I woke up, I had a whole bunch of doctors all around my bed. There could have been about 6 of them. And they were talking, and that's what woke me up. And the main doctor, he was a respiratory specialist that they brought in by helicopter, actually. And he had said to me, do you know? No, actually, at first he said, look at her smile. How could she smile? Do you know that you are an absolute medical miracle? And I thought, yeah, but I got a secret.
And I'm not going to tell anybody.
I can tell you guys, I don't think anybody's going to believe me, but I have a secret, and I was tight-lipped about it. Actually, I was in the hospital for about a month,
Yeah.
and
When
yeah.
did you actually like? And it shocked me when before we went on air, we were chatting, and you had told me that prior to coming on the show, you hadn't told very many people about this.
No, I had a real hard time with that. Actually, it was a very lonely journey for me. I had first tried to talk to my mom, who, which was odd because she had changed in her spiritual understandings, but I think it scared her
Oh,
because she said,
yeah,
do not talk about this ever again,
yeah.
or we are going to put you away in a padded room. You'll lose your
Lock her up.
daughter. Right? And I was just stunned by that. And then I tried to talk to an aunt and I was shut down. The guy that I was with at the time, I tried a little bit with him, shut down. His mom shut down. A doctor shut down. And so that was the end of it. I didn't tell anybody else until maybe a year later. I had tried to tell a friend who said, okay, like, don't tell me anymore because you're scaring me. Okay. So I didn't. I just hung on to it pretty much and went about with doing the things I needed to do to try and be as well as I possibly could because
Very
my prognosis wasn't all that good that they gave me.
right.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
gone through a lot. Um,
Mhm.
when was it that you finally decided, "Now's the time. I need to tell my truth"?
Yeah.
Whew,
So yeah, not long ago.
I got Kleenex, it's good.
Not long ago when I got out of, as you know, politics, got out of politics, and I just felt I took 4 years off of working with people.
Yep,
I strictly was doing politics. Otherwise, I did a lot of stuff part time and sometimes full time, depending. And it was an incredible calling, absolutely so incredibly powerful that I had to get back in it 100%. Start working with people, tell your story, share. It's time. It's time right now.
right
It's like,
now. And it was funny because Heather and I met, um, I believe Gary, your partner Gary, and my partner Ellison, and you all went to the same school at different times.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
all kinda knew different people who knew different people together, I'll
That's
say.
100%. Yeah.
Not even really like, you guys weren't friends, but Heather reached out to Ellison and wanted to have a conversation with me about politics. This is long before
Yeah.
that one,
Yeah.
July 12th,
I
2020,
think it was like a year before that.
a year before
Yeah.
COVID, and we talked for I'm gonna say for about an hour on the phone,
Yeah.
and really connected. And I left it. It was like, okay, um, COVID happened. I took this course.
Mhm.
Hadn't even, truthfully, people, I had not even thought of Heather or Gary at all. Gary kept popping up on my Kevali channeling. Every once in a while, I'd see a like, and I'd be like, "Who is this Gary Hamilton Brown? Like, why does
Who's
that
this
name?" I
guy?
wouldn't say anything out loud. It was just something in my head.
Yeah.
And then Heather reached out again, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Holy crap! Talk about the universe working in wild effing ways." Um,
Absolutely.
it was like two people doing the total opposite of what they were supposed to be doing. Now, two people doing what they were meant to do, and
That's right.
you can call us crazy, you can call us nuts. So it don't matter to me anymore. It
I
really
don't care.
doesn't. It's like, I don't care what you think. I'm not here to convince
Mhm.
you what I do is true. Um,
Yeah.
Heather was telling a story of her experience and what she went through in a very traumatic time in her life. And it literally, every word you said, Heather, and you have to hear this, was the God gospel truth. And it's important people hear that,
Mhm.
because I channeled while she was telling, and they showed me exactly what you saw. That's why I asked questions specifically as I went through. I was like, "Oh my god, this is too much for me."
Yeah.
So, Heather, I want to thank you for telling your story, because it was super, super important.
Thanks. Thank you.
Now, I want you to tell people, how do they get a hold of you? Because you offer some crazy ass shit.
Right? Really different stuff. Yeah.
You
So
do.
I work, my specialty is energy, of course, and all that it has to do with the human body and beyond that. And so I just started populating my Facebook page, Got Insight. And I also am on Instagram. Again, it's Got Insight somewhere. There's links.
Isn't that the greatest name ever? At Got Insight. I love it.
Yeah.
People who are my age get that because it's got milk,
Got milk.
got
And in the
internet.
90s, that's where I got it from.
No, it's
It was
just
a, it was a Got Milk commercial, and then all those commercials went away. And so it was around 99, 2000. And I was like, well, what am I going to call my, what is it? Oh, God Insight. Okay. So that's
Because
where
you
that
got
came from.
insight.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I also have, they can get me at Got Insights with the S. There's an S at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there.
And
Again,
now
I'm on Facebook as well.
you live in, I won't say how you usually describe it because we're on
Right.
Facebook and they will kick me off, but you
Yeah.
live in the middle of nowhere in the northern Alberta. How's that?
Mhm. Yeah.
But as people who have come to me know, we don't need to be in person to do stuff.
That's right.
Energy works across the world. So you can book sessions with Heather through Zoom, and it works just fine. As I say that, I'm getting a phone call from some spammer. Um, it's a 1-866. Anytime you see a 1-866, you know
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah,
spam.
yeah.
Um, but
My brochure is actually on my Facebook page,
go look at her
so you can
brochure.
see what I do.
Very
I
cool.
offer free consults as well. Usually they're about 20 minutes or so.
And what I love best when I looked over your um, brochure is I could tell this is something you're passionate about. This
Absolutely.
isn't just something you're doing for shits and giggles.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah,
Heather is very passionate about what she does, and what's the word? Very effective um, for people. She does things
mhm,
totally different. Don't expect a mediumship reading. Don't expect a Reiki session. That's not what you're going to get.
yeah,
Expect
yeah.
energy work.
Yeah, it's energy work. It's an energy reading. And so there's the auric field and the chakras, yes, but there's also the internal operation of the human body, your body, right? And so I'll be shown that as well. And I will see that. I will see what's going on. What is it connected to? And how can we make a change? And so I work in unison with you, and I show whoever I'm working with, they have homework, right? It's do it or don't. It's up to you
Yeah.
to do the work that I give you, so that people don't have to always rely on people like me. Yeah,
We want people to understand this is, we're 2023. We're not 2012 anymore.
yeah, big
Big
difference.
difference. I don't know why I picked 2012, but I picked 2012. There's a big difference in 11 years. There's a
Hmm.
bigger difference in 30 or 40 years.
Oh yes, yes. It
This
was a
is
long
now
time.
normal stuff. Like this is just everyday normal stuff. Go to Europe. They have energy healers right in the operating room with patients. It's normal.
When I went to, sorry if I can just say, when I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to Germany in 2000, this is common. You go to see a naturopath doctor, or more times than not, and they will give you meditations. They will send you to somebody to
Yes.
do energy work. I mean, it's all this stuff. And when I came back, I was kind of surprised on why are we so far behind. But I mean, it was more of the scientific approach. And believe me, they both work well together. They can work very well together, but that's the
Like that.
thing
Just
together.
like my fingers go together, that's how they
Yeah,
should work together. But in North America, they don't.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they're getting, they used to be like this. They are slowly, 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 slowly.
Yeah, yeah. And I know it's interesting that Morgan mentions
Oh,
that
can
the
you
group.
see the
Yeah.
comments? Can you see Morgan's comment?
I can see Morgan's comments. I see Lori had mentioned God Insight, very cool. I like it. Gary
Yes.
mentioned about the cosmic board, which I didn't talk about.
We were gonna go down a rabbit hole that would have taken us 2 more
Yeah,
hours to try to
yeah,
dig ourselves out of, and I was like, "Okay, let's bring it around."
yeah.
Heather,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm gonna put you back in
Thank
the
you.
waiting room. Don't go anywhere. I wanna
Yeah.
chat with you after I sign off, okay?
I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for coming, and thank you for having me and hearing my story.
Thank you for telling it. Thank you for being brave enough to tell it,
Thank
and that's
you.
important that you hear that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
everybody, whoo! I went through every emotion in that hour. It was insane. I usually am able to detach myself from emotion when I'm channeling. I wasn't able to, and I don't apologize for that. Screw that. I don't apologize for that. It was amazing. Um, we are off for the next 3 weeks, 3 whole weeks. We won't have a show because Ellison and I are taking a holiday. The first holiday since, well, geez, 2019. It would have been November of 2019 that we took the last holiday we took. So we're off to Europe for a trip for 2 weeks. Um, and we will be in touch when we get back. I want to thank everybody that booked a session through this $50 for 60 minutes sale I had. It was overwhelming, the results. A lot of times I'll only book 2 sessions a day just because my health. I decided to see if I could push it to 4. And I did. I booked pretty much 4 sessions every day of that week and a half, I guess it was. And it took a toll. I'm not going to lie. It took a toll, but it was fun. It was a good toll. It was amazing fun. So when I get back in October, pay attention to my Facebook page because you could be in for a bit of a surprise. And if you're looking to join Kevali Channeling Presents, please, October is pretty much open right now, I think. Send me a message through Kevali Channeling. Let me know what you do. And I love talking to people about their journeys and what they do and how they do it. So if you're a practitioner, a channeler, a psychic, a medium, a Reiki practitioner, whatever you want to call, whatever label they put on you, give me a shout. Let's book up October, November, and December real quick. Until I don't even know what date it'll be. It'll be October, the second week in October. The second Tuesday in October is when I will next talk to you, which will be October the 10th. Please have yourself a great, great week. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this channel.